Hello everybody, and welcome to Bull Technology. On October 7th, 2022, EA launched their new digital distribution platform known as the EA app, as a replacement for their much-hated Origin launcher. Upon its release, many were excited that EA was finally discontinuing the aging and incredibly unreliable Origin launcher and replacing it with something new. But after over a year in the sunlight, it's clear that the EA app is an utter disaster, with many users begging EA to bring back Origin. From a lack of features, to a poor design, to an unbelievable level of brokenness, the EA app, the supposed next generation of PC gaming, is a complete failure. So today we explore the unbelievable nightmare that is the EA app, and what EA must do to fix their broken application. Before we begin, some brief history is in order. In 2011, Electronic Arts released the Origin client for their games. Origin, much like other game distribution platforms, provides gamers with one interface to purchase and launch their games. Origin, though, was exclusively for EA games, and EA's games couldn't be purchased on other platforms like Steam. What's worse was that EA required both downloading Origin and creating an Origin account to play all of their games. This wouldn't necessarily be an issue if Origin was a decent service, but many agree that it absolutely was not, with a confused user interface, endless networking and server errors, and countless bugs and glitches. Origin was a terrible experience to users. Over the next 11 years, EA would do very little to address the issues plaguing Origin. This is until the release of the EA app in 2022. The EA app was released in 2022 as a replacement for Origin on the PC. That's right, Mac users were excluded from the new platform entirely, but more on that later. Much like Origin, the EA app is required to play all EA games. The EA app combines a store functionality where users can purchase EA games, a launcher function where users can launch all of their games from one interface, and some minimal social features. Not long after its release, this new app was heavily criticized for being completely broken and lacking crucial features. One quick search of the EA app on YouTube results in countless videos either heavily criticizing the app or showing users how to revert to the Origin client. Yeah, not a good look. So let's examine the issues with the EA app. I've outlined the three major issues of the EA app as design issues, a lack of features, and what I'm going to call brokenness, or just the app not working properly. First, let's talk design. In a sentence, the EA app's design makes no sense. The app features a left-hand sidebar with a few different options: Home, Browse, Library, and EA Play. The Home tab just seems to function as a glorified store page, as it's littered with tons of games and expansion packs you can buy. Pretty useless. The Browse tab offers essentially the same information as the Home tab, just in a grid view with filters. Again, completely useless. The only sensical item from this list is the game library, which features the games that you own. The next option is EA Play, and a common theme about the EA app is it seems to just be a huge promotion for their EA Play monthly subscription. Moving on though, there is a list of installed games here on the left, and this appears to be just an afterthought to fill this blank space on the left-hand side. At the bottom is the Downloads Manager, nothing special here, and at the top of the interface though, there are constant forward-backward buttons, a search bar, and a shopping cart icon. My biggest issue here is the search bar. Searching in this search bar returns results from combining the games that you own and games and apps from the store. This is perhaps the biggest design flaw. There is not a store page within the EA app. So even if you're just trying to search the games that you own, you'll be inundated with results for things that you can purchase. This is just gross. Also gross is how buried the system settings are. This inconspicuous hamburger menu in the top left is how you get to the settings. I mean, this is just a bizarre design choice. Also bizarre is the right-hand Friends menu, which is constantly open, unlike in Steam, where it is only open if you choose it to be. The whole design just seems to lack functionality and coherency. It's clear that the design has only one goal in mind, and that's to sell EA products. Nasty. The design is terrible, but also terrible is the lack of features. I already mentioned that a pivotal lacking feature is a store page. Not having one unified interface to view all for sale EA products is a huge downfall, and a lack of a store page means the inability to create a wished list like in Steam or to save items to view for later. It's also difficult to discern when large sales occur. It just doesn't make any sense to not have a store page. While we're talking about lacking features concerning commerce, something that bothers me more is the lack of an ability to review items for sale. This is probably because EA doesn't want people writing terrible reviews for their terrible products, but it's still a sleazy business tactic. If you're selling a product online, the customers should be able to see what other people that have purchased the product think of said product. Another lacking feature is the settings section. The settings are an absolute joke. EA gives you very little control over how the app operates or looks, and most of the settings are incredibly dumbed down. While we're discussing the settings, I should mention that any settings pertaining to your EA account can't be changed within the EA app itself. In order to change these settings, you must navigate to the EA website from a browser. It's incredibly annoying that these simple settings can't be changed within the app, and clicking the settings within the app opens a browser tab with a sign-in window. How is this acceptable or intuitive? It just isn't. Yet another lacking feature is simply the fact that macOS was completely excluded from this new app at launch, though maybe Mac users should be thankful. I should note that a Mac version of the app is slated to release this year, but come on, EA waited over a year to release this app on macOS? The EA app is missing so many features, and the features it does have are simply baby features with no depth whatsoever. Finally, we arrive at the biggest issue with the app, and that is simply brokenness. This category can be divided into two separate subcategories. Number one is app and game breaking issues, and the other is just general bugginess. And there are many app and game breaking issues. During my 15-minute recording session for this video, where I attempted to get footage of the app crashed twice. There are many occasions where the app can't connect to EA servers, thus rendering many games unplayable. Updates frequently break some of the app's functionality, and as many such as Satchon Sims have experienced, sometimes games are completely unlaunchable for some reason or another. Completely unacceptable. As for just general bugginess, there's plenty. Just observe how unbelievably laggy and chuggy simply moving around the window is on my desktop compared to moving around the Steam window. It's as if simply moving around the app window on my desktop consumes all of my PC's horsepower. What an absolute mess. The irony here is that EA claims that this app is, quote, designed for speed. Yeah, right. Just look at the laggy delay when clicking buttons, scrolling, and moving around the UI. I also had this fun bug where these two black boxes occurred when I was using the search functionality. Great. This level of unreliability and brokenness would be unacceptable for an app in beta, but this app has been in full release for an entire year. EA should be embarrassed about how broken this app is. So broken as to prevent some users from playing the games they purchased. If you ask me, that's downright criminal. Wow, what an overall mess. And I'm clearly not the only person with this level of criticism towards the EA app. As previously mentioned, any quick search on YouTube results in dozens of spiteful videos and tutorials on how to get Origin back. So what should EA do here? Well, the obvious answer from me is EA should distribute their games on Steam like every other major publisher. I mean, let's be clear, this isn't going to happen because EA doesn't want to pay royalties to Valve. But they should. It makes no sense to the consumer to have a separate application just for EA games. Pipe dreams aside though, what EA needs to do is just start over. The EA app needs a new design, one that is feature-filled and functional. Add a store page and integrate much-needed features like, I don't know, the ability to edit your avatar within the app. Most importantly though, EA needs to make an app that works. It's completely unacceptable that a company the size of EA can't create a functional distribution app. If you're going to require its usage, it better work. With the appalling track record that EA has, it's no surprise that their cornerstone app is a complete failure. It is, though, nevertheless, disgusting. And with that in mind, be sure to leave a like, a comment, and definitely subscribe. And thank you all for watching.